Okay, so this is the slope quiz number 2. Let's start with problem number 1. So for number 1, we have y equals to negative 2x plus 2. And you're asked to graph this. And the way you do that is you use the slope-intercept form where y equals to mx plus b, where m is the slope and the b is the y-intercept. And we're going to start with the y-intercept. So what's the y-intercept in this particular case? Well, the y-intercept is, well, we don't have to start with that. We can start with the slope. The slope in this case is negative 2, and we always want that as a fraction. So it's negative 2 over 1, which means we go down 2 to the right 1. And the y-intercept is going to be a positive 2. So what do? You start with the y-intercept. So you start at positive 2 here. And then you're going to use your slope. You're going to go down 2 to the right 1. And that's going to be here. Down 2 to the right 1. That's going to be here. So, and then you're going to go ahead and graph it using a ruler, hopefully. And that should be the line that you're looking at, if you did everything correctly. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Pause this if you need to, and let's set up for number 2. All right, so for number 2, apologies for the bell. For number 2, you have y equals to 3 over 5 x minus 4. So what is your slope? Once again, the slope is whatever's next to the x. In this case, it's going to be 3 over 5. What does that mean? Go up 3 because it's positive. Go to the right 5 because it's positive. They're both positive. And the y-intercept is going to be negative 4. So you're going to start this time at negative 4, which is here. And then you're going to go up 3 to the right 5. On your paper, that's probably as far as you can take it. I'm going to do 2 points because I can. And then I'm going to go ahead and graph it. And that's what it should look like if you're doing it correctly. That is number 2. Let me have any questions. Pause this if you need to, and let's set up for number 3. All right, for number 3, you have y equals to 1 over 4x plus 1. All right, again, what is your slope? The slope is whatever's in front of the x. In this case, it's 1 over 4, which means it's up 1 to the right 4. What is your y-intercept? It's a thing by itself, and it's a positive 1. That means you're going to start at positive 1, which is here, and then you're going to go ahead and go up 1 to the right 4, up 1 to the right 4, and then you're going to go ahead and graph it. Okay, let's see. Slippery ruler. Oh, that's awful. Try again. It's the best I'm going to be able to do. So that's the line you should be able to expect for number 3. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Pause this if you need to, and let's set up for number 4. For number 4, you have y equals to x. All right, so this is a strange looking problem. What's the slope? Well, the slope is whatever's in front of the x. In this case, you can always say there's a 1 in front of the x. So the slope is 1, and we always want it as a fraction. So I'm going to just write it as 1 over 1, which means you go up 1 to the right 1. What is the y-intercept? Well, it doesn't appear like there is one, right? Well, what can we do if there isn't one? Can we write plus 0? Of course we can. We can write plus 0 anytime we want. So the slope is, or the y-intercept is 0. What does this mean? Start at y is 0. And then from there, go up 1 to the right 1, which is here, here, here. So you can do lots of these points. It's a really easy slope because it's just up 1 to the right 1, very close to each other. And then you're going to go ahead and graph it. And that's what it should look like, give or take. So that's number 4. Let me know if you have any questions. Pause this if you need to. Let's set up for number 5. For 5, you have y equals to negative 4x, sort of similar to number 4. Your slope is present. It is negative 4, and we always want it as a fraction, the slope. That means it's going to go down 4 to the right 1. Now, there is no y-intercept, so just like last time, if it doesn't seem like there is one, we're going to add one by adding 0. So your y-intercept is 0. So once again, you're going to store it right in the middle, y at 0. And then from there, you're going to go down 4 to the right 1. I'll do it twice. You only have to do it once, really. It's just the second one is helping me graph it because I have a larger graphing surface and a slippery ruler on the iPad. Oof, that's not right, because I selected something with my finger. Okay, that's better. All right, that's not bad actually. So that's number 5. Let me know if you have any questions. Pause this if you need to, and let's go ahead and set up for number 6. All right, for number 6, you have y equals to negative 4. And that's it. Now, what is your slope? Well, your slope is whatever's in front of the x. You don't have an x at all. So what do? You have a y-intercept, though. That one's pretty easily visible. It's right here, the negative 4. So that's good. But what's your slope? Can we write down plus 0 times x? Sure you can, because 0 times x is 0. It's kind of like writing plus 0. So your slope then is 0 or 0 over 0, which means go up 0, go to the right 0, I guess. So let's start with the y-intercept at negative 4 right here. So what do? Well, the bottom number, not a whole lot you can do there. The top number, not a whole lot you can do there. It has to be a 0. But the bottom number, because you're not allowed to divide by 0. So the bottom number, yeah. But the top number can be anything, right? Because, I'm sorry, am I confusing myself? The bottom number can be anything because 0 divided by anything is 0. So for example, the slope could be 0 divided by 3 or 0 divided by negative 5. They're all zeros because it's 0 divided by something. So you don't really know what the slope is. Like the slope could be 0 over, 10, 0 over negative 100. You wouldn't know because 0 divided by that is 0. So that means your left to right is technically infinite. It can go infinite number of times to left or right. So it could be a point here, could be a point here, could be a point here. So what do? You just graph a line that goes through all those possible points. Sort of like this. So you just have a line going through y equals negative 4, an infinite line. Technically, all these lines are infinite. All right, so let me know if you have any questions. Pause this if you need to. And we're going to go to the back for number 7 and set up for that. All right, for number 7, it's a little different. You're actually given a line to graph. So let me go ahead and quickly set that up. And that is at 5. So just here. So let me quickly graph this particular line. Okay. And then you're asked to find the equation of the line. We're going backwards. So just like I told you before, you're always going to start with where did that line cross the y-axis? That is your y-intercept. In this case, it crossed it at positive 3. So your y-intercept is 3. Now, for the slope, you simply find the next point, which is going to be here, the next whole point, or this one. I always like the points to the right, but you can go to the left as well. So the next whole point that is closest. Now you can also pick this point here. That would work as well. but I like the closest point to the right. And we're going to see what the directions are from here to here. Well, to get from here to there, you're going to go up 3 to the right 5. So that is your, that is your slope. Up 3 to the right 5, which is 3 over 5. All right, so now we just fill in the equation. Remember the equation that is y equals mx plus b. So y equals m is slope, so 3 over 5x. I'll actually color code that for you guys. So equals to 3 over 5 x plus your y-intercept, which is 3. And that's it. That is what I'm looking for. That is the equation of this particular line. Let me know if you have any questions. Pause this if you need to, and let's set up for number 8. Okay, so number 8, let's see here. Let's go ahead and graph it. Is a line that looks something like this. And once again, the first thing you want to do is find where does it cross the y. It crosses the y right here, right at the center. So your y-intercept is 0. Now for the slope, find the next whole number point. That's 1. There's another one there. There's another one there. Again, I like to select the closest point to the right. So I'm going to select this one. How do you get from the y-intercept to the closest point to the right? Well, you're going to go up 1, and then you're going to go to the right 2. So your slope is up 1 to the right 2, which means it's 1 over 2. That's it. Now just fill it in. So y is going to be your slope, which is 1 over 2 x plus your y-intercept, which is 0. And you can leave it like that. You can also simply write it as y equals to 1/2 x, and just leave it like that. Technically, that's the most correct answer, but I would accept the other one as well. So both of them would be fine. But y equals to 1/2 x is the most correct way to write this. All right, let me know if you have any questions. And that was actually number 8. We're going to go ahead and set up for number, oh my gosh, it does not stick. Wow. So that's number 8. We're going to go ahead and set up for number 9. All right, for number 9, you have a line that, let's see here, let me go ahead and graph it out. This one's a bit of a tougher one to graph, but I got it. I think I got it. Something like this. And just like before, we're going to start with y-intercept. In this case, the y-intercept, if I did it correctly, did I do it correctly? No, I didn't do it correctly. Oh my gosh. So give me a second. Let's see here. Oof. It's right here. So I did not look at it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me graph it again. Apologies. There we go. So for number 9, the y-intercept is right here, which is at -4. So the y-intercept is at -4. The slope, again, find the nearest whole point. And that looks like it could be, let's see here, what could be a good one right over here? So there's one here. There's also going to be one that is here. And then obviously there's one here, and then there's going to be another one somewhere else. But I always like to pick the point that is the closest one to the right, and that's going to be right there. So we're going to go from the y-intercept to the closest point that is the whole point to the right. And to get there, we're going to go down 2 and to the right 5. So down 2 to the right 5 means, for slope, -2 over 5. Down, so that's -2 and then to the right, that's positive 5. All right, let's go ahead and fill it in. So it's going to be y equals to your slope, negative 2 over 5, x minus 4. And congratulations, that is your equation line for number 9. Let me know if you have any questions. And let's go ahead and set up for number 10. All right, for number 10, you have an equation that, or a line that passes through here, and it passes through here. Let me go ahead and graph it out to the best of my ability. Sometimes my best is just not good enough, but I'll do my best. That's all I can promise. Okay, looks sort of like that. Yeah, sort of like that. So what is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is right here. That's at positive 3. And let's find the next nearest whole point that's to the right. And that's going to be actually this right here. So that means it's going to be down 3 to the right 4. So there's another one here, but again, I like to go to the right. If you want to go to the left, you can, but we're going to go this way. So down 3 to the right 4. So your slope is down 3, negative 3 to the right 4. So negative 3 over 4 is your slope. So your equation is going to look like this. Negative 3 over 4 x plus your y-intercept, which is 3. And that's it. That is the equation that represents the line for number 10. All right, we got 2 more left. Let me know if you have any questions. Pause this if you need to. And let's go ahead and set up for number 11. All right. For number 11, this one's pretty easy, pretty simple. Just have a line going that's straight left and right, and it's going through y equals at 3. So that is your y-intercept. But what is the slope? It doesn't appear to be a slope. I mean, yeah, I can pick, let's say, a point here, the closest point to the right, and to go from there to there, I'm just going to go not up or down. So up 0, you can say, or down 0, doesn't matter, and then to the right 1. If I pick a different point, let's say this one right over here, it would have been, again, this one I can say down 0 to the left 1. So you're always going up or down 0. So for your slope, the top number is going to be 0, and the bottom number can be, well, let's say it could be 1. It could be 0 over negative 1, right? So both of those are just zeros, right? It's just 0 divided by anything is 0. So your slope is 0. All right, let's write it out. So it's going to be y equals to your slope. So that's going to be 0x plus 3. Now, 0x is just 0. So the final equation is just y equals to 3. So that is the true correct way to write this. Now, if you wrote this weird form, I probably give you full credit, but y equals to 3 is what you should write for number 11. Let me know if you have any questions. Pause this if you need to, and let's work out our last problem, number 12. All right, for number 12, let's see here. It goes through here, and it goes through here. All right, let me graph it out. Go away. All right, looks decent. So this is much more standard. You have a y-intercept going through, y is at 5, so y-intercept at positive 5. And let's pick the nearest whole number point, and that could very well be this one right here. I'm looking at your paper here, And I would go ahead and, that's a little rough. Because both on my paper and your paper, this looks like the next whole point. Yeah, but it could also be this one. I'm not sure. Okay, let me really take a closer look at your paper because I want to make sure that we're going off your paper. Yeah, I'm going to stick with my first one. I think that's the nearest whole point. So we're going to go from here to there. Or you know what? Based on the way I drew it, I think this is going to be it. I think this is our nearest one, and this would be like an alternative going to the left. Okay, I think that's the nearest whole point, which means we're going to go this way. Or you could have gone that way, whichever way you pleased. But those are the two closest points, which means you are going to go down 5 and to the right 2. So it's going to be -5 over 2. So your slope is -5 over 2. All right, let's go ahead and write it out. So it's going to be y equals to your slope, -5 over 2, next to x, plus your y-intercept. And that's it. This one's pretty darn simple. That's number 12. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Pause this if you need to. And we're done. Thank you.